All righty, we are live. We're going. It's Talk About It Tuesday, people. Our guest today is Monique Kofskin, right? Kofsky and
Kofsky, yeah.
Kofsky, and founder of Butter and Lye, which is an incredible um, shampoo brand and soap brand, and she's going to talk all about it because she knows her brand the best. But we host them on our marketplace, and we just wanted to bring her amazing product to you guys through Talk About It Tuesday podcast because you got to know about it. Awesome. So let's hop right into the questions, Monique.
Sure.
First off, I just want to say thank you for coming on and talking with us today.
Not a problem. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you. So, first question is introduce yourself. Let us know what your organization is all about.
Absolutely. So I am Monique Kofsky. I'm the founder of Butter and Lye. Butter and Lye is a natural soap company that specializes in all eco-friendly business practices. So we're pretty much, our goal is to offer solutions for a lot of things that you find in your household that come in plastic bottles. And we're offering solutions so that you don't have to have a lot of plastic in your house. So we sell things like shampoo bars. All of our soaps are bar soaps, so for your face and for your body. And we even have solid dish soap and a bunch of different accessories too.
It's incredible. See, I told you she could explain it better. That's why we got you on. Uh, so, I just want to ask one thing. How did you start this whole journey of natural soaps and even just the fact of the bar of soap saving plastic? How'd you start all this?
It actually started off with a need from me. I had a pretty bad bout of adult onset acne, and I was trying a bunch of different things. And I pretty much had a pile of plastic bottles underneath my sink. And then I realized that these things, some of them would work, but none of them were really addressing the problem, my skin health. I needed to have healthier skin. And so I started kind of like playing around. I would read the ingredients on these bottles and I'll see, this is a derivative of coconut oil. Oh, this is a derivative of olive oil. And so what I did was I started formulating my own things using like the natural whole ingredient. And eventually I came up with a soap bar that my skin absolutely loved. And I realized that I was actually healing my skin or allowing my skin to heal itself because I wasn't exposing it to a bunch of toxins and a bunch of artificial gunk that my skin had to fight away. And so, pretty much after that, I gave it to my friends and family, and they tried it. They loved it. They wanted more, and I was like, maybe I should turn this into a business. And so that's how Butter and Lye was born.
Wow, personal experience. That's usually the best kind. And that's the drive behind it. That's why it's amazing. And it really feels like a family company as
Yeah,
well.
it is. It is. I work very closely with my sister and my husband, so it's very much a family company.
Amazing. That's beautiful. So, did you always think about plastic waste in the beauty industry, or was it kind of something that you learned through your experience, like you're saying?
It's something. So when I was in college, I took a course on sustainability. So it's something that I've always kind of thought about, but I didn't get as serious about it until I started like dealing with skin issues and like trying to figure that out and seeing how much plastic I was accumulating because of that process. And so I just started like doing a little bit of research about like, plastic and pollution and what that actually is causing in the oceans and in the world. And after that, I got pretty serious about it. And now I'm very serious about plastic in the beauty industry. When I go shopping, I'm probably looking around for something that is non-plastic if it exists. In very rare circumstances, if I can't find it in a non-plastic version, then I'm gonna buy or if I can't find, yeah, then I'm gonna buy the plastic
Yeah.
version. But I
Yeah.
try my best to buy non-plastic. That's a huge sell for me.
Right.
Companies that sell without plastic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. Well, that's all you can do is what little by little, steps by step. And the more consumers ask for it, the more it's going to be produced. So that's
Yeah,
another thing too. Once we're requesting it as consumers, because I'm a consumer, you're a consumer, even though we own companies, you got to keep in mind, people, we're still consumers, right? So
absolutely.
the
Hmm.
listeners out there, we consume too, and we try to be conscious with our consumption as much as possible, but nobody's perfect. That's why I do say, like, and you can even let us know what you think about this. Zero waste is almost impossible for people.
It really is. And you know what?
Okay.
I love the zero waste movement. I think it's very important. But sometimes when you say something like zero waste, it puts a lot of pressure on a person to do everything zero waste. And right now, with the way society is set up, with the way consumerism is set up, it's almost impossible to be zero waste and like still live a normal life within society.
Right.
And so because of that, I tend not to use the word zero waste too much. I usually go with low waste because I think that's a bit more forgiving and it doesn't scare people away as much as zero waste.
Yeah. Yeah. See, but in your product itself truly is a zero waste product.
Yes,
You
yeah.
know,
I
um,
strive my best to make sure that the end, you're not going to throw anything in the garbage if you have like some sort of composter.
yeah.
Um, but you could definitely recycle at the minimum everything that's in my all of my packaging for sure.
Yeah. And you introduced us to Sendel.
Yeah, I
Yeah. Yeah.
did.
And now we're
I'm
with
so
them.
happy you guys are using it now.
Yeah, and that's what I love about the marketplace community is like we both help each other figure out how to be better in this sustainable world. And we all are trying to do the best we can out here. And that's
Absolutely.
really what I think the whole low waste, zero waste, closed loop circle is all about is trying to just think before you throw something away or make something,
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah,
know?
absolutely. Yep.
All
I
right, we're
agree
wrapped. No.
wholeheartedly.
15-second podcast. No, we have so much more questions. We're so excited to get
Great.
into this.
I
Uh,
love chatting with you. Yeah, definitely. Let's
it's
get
so
into
fun.
it.
And that's what it's a conversation. You just talk about it, and so much more comes up because it's a personal thing. All of this journey is such a personal thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
why
it's
I love,
something that we're so passionate about. And it's more than just us. It's not really for us. It's
right?
for world is for everyone, you
Yeah,
know. The zero waste lifestyle, or trying to like just be a little bit better with the plastic, where it's not selfish. And I think that's what
right.
I really love about it, and the people that I meet through this journey, just like how everyone just cares about humanity. They care about the people, care
Yeah.
about their communities, they care about the earth, and I love that.
Yeah. So I don't know if you get this, but my friends, and I'm shouting you guys out, people, you know who you are. They always are like hippy dippy, like they associate us with that, right? And I'm like, God, guys, what's wrong with pure love, you know?
Yeah, and I think yeah, it's a little it's about like the longevity of humanity too. Like it's not
It
just
is.
about love. It is about love and like love for your fellow person, love for the environment,
Yeah,
but it's also just about like wanting this to keep going, wanting future generations to have a clean environment for them to keep going and doing great things. It's like
yeah,
there's something just like very like human about wanting to continue, wanting life to
true.
continue.
And be sustainable. Sustainability doesn't always mean just clean living.
Yeah.
Obviously, it means longevity,
Oh
making
yeah.
us last, our planet last. And with the linear system we're on currently of our,
Mhm.
production system, we
Yeah.
can't last like that. We need to close
No.
the loop. All right, well, let's get back on the questions that we set aside to talk
Okay.
today about.
Sounds good.
um, so did you can you just explain a bit about how Butter and Lye makes the bars? Um,
Yeah. So it depends on the type of bar, but we have different types of bars that are made differently. But they all start off the same way. They start off in my kitchen. Well, actually, no, it doesn't start off in my kitchen. It starts off in front of my computer. So I'm a biochemist by training. And so I do a lot of research before I make anything. And so I start off just by thinking of an idea. Maybe I heard a skin issue that one of my friends or one of my customers had, and they're like, oh man, I wish I had a bar to address this. Then I research all the natural ways that are scientifically proven, because I'm usually reading scientific articles in peer reviewed journals. And so all the natural ways to deal with those skin issues. And then I buy everything. I try to source everything locally if I can. I support a lot of women owned, Black owned companies as well when I'm sourcing my materials. And then I get to the kitchen and I start working. I usually make maybe 3 or 4 different variations of the same thing, and then I try them on me. My sister Jennifer, who also helps me with Butter and Lye, she tries them. My husband tries them, and I also have a group of people that work with me that are pretty much testers, that I send a bunch of product to, and then I send a survey, and then they get back to me with all of the different results from whichever product they tried. And then after that, depending on what it is, if it's something like a solid dish soap, then I make it right in the kitchen because I do have the space for that. But if it's like a face and body bar that needs a lot more space because it's bigger batches, then I send the formulation over to a manufacturer. And then we kind of have to go back and forth because something that I make in my kitchen may be a little bit different in their facility. So then we do a couple testing rounds, and I just make sure that the product comes out very similar to the one I made in my kitchen, and then we make a huge batch. And I try to order in bulk as big as possible because I want to prevent having to ship back and forth all of these small shipments. So I'll order thousands of bars at a time and, try to sell them. Yeah, and
Amazing.
that's how it goes. Yeah.
The
You know all my
production loop,
secrets now.
right? Oh my. But that's the beauty about it. It's like we don't hold secrets, when people, brands like Butter and Lye, they're doing the right thing, they know they're sourcing, they want to tell you, they want to tell us, they want to talk about it on Talk About It Tuesday. So thank
Oh
you,
yeah.
Monique, for what you do in your brand. And
Of course, of course. Speaking of sourcing, I was just talking to my manufacturers the other day, and they are going to be sourcing the main ingredient in my face and body bars, which is the sunflower oil. They're sourcing that locally. There's a farm that's like
oh,
right in their town that they're going to be sourcing sunflower oil from. So that just like decreases the amount of carbon needing for like shipping things, and it supports their local community, which is something
yeah.
that I think is so important. So yeah, little things like that. I'm always talking with them, trying to figure out the best way to source things. But that's an ongoing issue that about running an eco-friendly company. Sometimes it's really hard to get something sourced,
Mm,
perfectly. So always
exactly.
working on it.
Yep, and that's the transparency side that we want you guys to know is this is a constant working, developing system. We are very new still to this field of not us, but even just the world. It's very new
Yeah,
to the field of sustainability, locally sourced, um, fair trade, all of this. We're very new to it. We're not used to it at all. So
yeah,
we're all trying to learn together and be better together. And that's what makes us such a community. I think that's what kind of knits us together because we're all like, oh, wow, you figured out that. Oh my gosh, wow, cool. Da, da, da,
yeah.
da. It's talk about it. We discuss together and we learn together. That's what I love.
Yeah. And I think a big difference between an eco-friendly brand and like say a big box brand
Yeah.
is that when I'm sourcing something, I'm not looking for the cheapest ingredient. I'm looking for the best ingredient that comes from the best place, that is fair trade, that I have all these different criteria that I'm looking for. Whereas a big box brand is looking for something and they're trying to get it the cheapest. They're trying to make the biggest profit. And that's not Butter and Lye at all. The profit doesn't matter as long as we're able to convince people to be a little bit more conscious when they buy, reduce their plastic, reduce their waste, then we did our job.
Right.
It's not about the profits with eco brands. So
Right. But and you not only do that, reduce their plastic, reduce everything, you're really giving top-notch products. I just washed my hair with the shampoo and I love it. I use that every single time I wash my hair, which I do like maybe every 3 days because I just
Mm.
like let the natural oils get to it. That's my
Hmm.
conditioner, and then I use
Yeah.
butter and lye. Did you hear that?
Little, very little. Yeah, it sounded like
Wonderful,
a
guys. We're in
motorcycle.
downtown LA here at Talk About It Tuesday in the middle of a pandemic. So
Yeah.
we have to just work with what we have. Radio.
I'm in Brooklyn, so you may hear like an ambulance or a police car go by because that's a pretty common occurrence in Bed-Stuy.
Yeah, we welcome it all.
Yeah.
All the sound effects welcomed.
Yeah.
All right. So if you can tell us, just tell the audience and everything about why they should switch to a bar instead of a plastic, because
Um,
some people just can't make that switch in their head, and they just kind of need a little shake sometimes of why it's so good. So give us that shake.
so I think, well, when you're thinking about a plastic, when you're thinking about liquid soap, like let's say a body wash, for instance, we have to think about everything that goes into it. Number one, it comes in a plastic bottle. That plastic bottle is going to take hundreds of years to decompose. It's something, and even if it is recycled, plastic is never recycled 100%. You're not going to get 100% recovery of any plastic. And so recycling is going to be inefficient. If you throw it away, it's also inefficient because now this plastic and all the potential toxins in it are going to be leaching into the ground in a landfill for at least 450 years. So that plastic shampoo bottle that you used this morning is going to be on the earth when your great grandkids are here. And is that really something that you want to leave behind of your time on the earth? Another thing that I like to say is a plastic or a liquid soap has a lot of extra water in there that you don't really need. When you use a bar soap, you apply the water to it and you create the suds and make it into a liquid yourself. And so, because of that, they last longer. Um, and it's also a lot lighter to ship because in 4 ounces of a solid bar, you're probably getting about like 8 to 12 ounces worth of a liquid, and you're getting the same cleaning power. And so by me shipping you 4 ounces, it's going to be a lot less carbon released into the environment than if I was shipping you something liquid. Um, I could keep going on and
Yeah,
on. There
I'm
are a
like,
lot
wow, I'm convinced already, but I'm in the easy cell. No, that's amazing. I love all of those points, and I'm going to point them out in the description and get this as solid as possible. And I even want to do like a little story shout out on those points because come on, those were so convincing. And I just want to show you my system of how I use butter and lye, people.
of.
So if you can't see it because you're listening on the podcast, it's in a jar, like an old mason jar, and I cut my bar into 3/4, so 3 pieces, and then I put one in the jar. And one of these 3 pieces probably lasts around a month for me, which is
Mhm.
crazy. So I'm talking 3 months on one bar right now, which is beautiful. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is what, $8?
Yeah. Exactly. They're $8. Yeah.
Can you divide that by 3? You're spending what,
Like
a
two.
dollar, two
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
every
Two
month for
something.
your for your shampoo.
Mm-hmm.
I put it in the jar, and then I put 1/4 of that bar into, no, 1/3 into the jar. Okay, for I'm trying to explain it for people that are listening too, not just for the people that can see it on YouTube. Um,
Right.
and so then I put water into the jar when I'm about to do my hair and shampoo my hair, and I shake it up real good. And that gets the suds all the way, like filled up suds. Then I
Mm-hmm.
just pour it over my head, kind of like you do with babies and little kids with their heads tipped back. I pour it over my head and I get all the suds, and that just covers my head. it's the most sudsy. If anyone out there is listening, you guys have, if you've tried all natural soap for your hair, you know that it doesn't get as sudsy as regular soap. That's one of the downsides. But this, I would not call this a downside. The way I do it, at least, I get so much suds. It's like regular shampoo.
Yeah,
It's
it's
regular
really
shampoo.
similar. Yeah. Yeah, you're
I
gonna have
love
a
it.
very similar experience. I make sure to formulate it with there's the secret ingredient to make it more sudsy is actually castor oil. When
Ooh,
you add the castor oil in it, you get like bigger, longer lasting bubbles. So you have a really sudsy bar. So
no,
if that's a reason why you haven't tried shampoo bars, you should definitely check out a butter and lye bar because they're gonna get really sudsy for you.
yeah, yeah, I can back that 100% for sure. And I'm not just saying that. Like, I actually try these products and love them. I'm really not just saying that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Of
I'm glad you
course,
like them.
you're
Just one, I guess, aside based on how you use the shampoo bar, make sure after you use it, you pour all the water out and you store the bar dry. And that bar is going to last you a very long time. Just like Ashley said, it's going to last, you're going to get at least one bar, you're going to get a minimum of a month and a half, 2 months out of,
yeah,
depending on how often you wash your hair.
right, right, exactly. Okay, so we kind of pointed some out, but just do you have any other downsides so people know about washing their hair with a shampoo bar?
Oh, yeah. I mean, complete transparency. The I would say the biggest complaint I get is from the shampoo bar, and it's that it leaves some people's hair greasy. And that greasy feeling that you feel if you ever have used a shampoo bar before, it's most likely because you have hard water.
Yeah,
So if you have hard water, and you could easily just Google it to like, Google your hometown and the type of water you have. If you have hard water, then what happens is the soap molecules can sometimes, hard water is just having a lot of extra minerals in your water. So the soap molecules could bind to those minerals and kind of leave a bit of like a scum on your hair almost. It's like soap scum. Soap scum is usually caused by hard water. And so that's the downside. The good side about it is that that could easily be washed out with a apple cider vinegar rinse. If you
mm,
just dilute some apple cider vinegar, you rinse it out, that soap scum is going to come right out. Your hair is going to be squeaky clean, and it's going to have a conditioning effect too.
mm,
Um, but a bad side of that is that there's going to be an extra step in your wash routine.
mm,
But if you're really serious about trying to go low waste and you do want a shampoo bar and you're having that issue, then try the apple cider vinegar rinse and you should be good to go.
yeah, yeah. Also, I will say in the beginning when I transitioned to your bar, I was in transition from another bar, and
Mm,
I was using like my mom's Suave.
yeah.
And it was just not okay. And so that kind of built up, like that will build up a residue. And then when I switched to your shampoo, it kind of was like coming out. Not like my hair was coming out, but like the residue and the grease was coming out. And now that I've been on it for probably 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, I don't know, a year almost already,
Yeah.
you
Not quite
know,
a year,
yeah,
but yeah, but
definitely
almost,
a
maybe
year.
like 9 months at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, so now it's like fine, I don't have that anymore because I'm sticking to that. So it like washed out all the bad.
Yep. And there is a transition period. I would usually tell people go through at least a month worth of washes. If you wash your hair like once a week, it may be a little bit longer than that, but your scalp has to get used to the new type of soap. So your scalp will react. It's like when you change your face wash. Sometimes, like especially I know I have oily skin. When I change my soap, sometimes the oil will come back for a couple of weeks and then it'll kind of subside. So
Mm.
yeah, give it some time. Don't give up right away because
Yeah,
it's important.
yeah,
It's
it's
important.
actually a good thing. I feel like it's just cleaning out all the toxins that were there from the old shampoo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Um, okay, we could talk on for hours and hours and hours, I'm sure, about all of this. But
Yeah.
so,
Wait, aren't we going to talk for hours? Isn't this
yes, okay,
podcast like
yes, yes,
24
we can.
hours?
We can, we can. So basically, I know, okay, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We know this. And have you seen that? We know this.
No,
on SNL. Oh my God,
no, I haven't.
shout out
I
to
got
SNL. You got to check it out after you get off this. It's hilarious. We know
okay,
this,
I'll check that
Doctor.
out.
We know this.
Dr. Rena, this okay, I'll check
Yeah,
that
yeah,
out.
yeah. Anyways, we're in the middle of a pandemic. It's been hard on everybody, all business owners, all humans alike. Uh,
Mm,
how'd your company fare? How did it go? What are you still dealing with? What was the start like? I didn't
yeah.
check in with you for a little while, but I'm checking in now.
So we actually started in March of 2020. So the
Yeah,
month of the pandemic was our launch. We had planned to launch at the end of that month at an event. So I had everything all set up. I had like a table. It was an event at a local middle school that was focused on eco-friendly practices. And so if you were an eco-friendly company, then they invited you to be there to sell your products.
right,
And I was also going to do a little class for some kids on how to make your own shampoo bar. And then talk a little bit about using shampoo bars instead of liquid and kind of having a similar conversation to the one we just had.
yeah,
And so I was all ready. I had all my supplies, everything was all parsed and like packed away. And then a week before the event, it was canceled.
ugh,
And I was so sad because now I have, like, I was just so excited to launch, and this was going to be like a really great way to launch. I was going to take some pictures of the event, put it on social media, but it was canceled. And so I told myself, well, I already put on social media that I was launching on this day. I don't want to like push the launch out. I was thinking at first they didn't cancel the event. They said it's going to be delayed until they hear more information. Little
right,
did they know, little did I know that this is going to be a year-long ordeal, maybe even longer. And so I'm kind of glad that I just went and launched, but it was tough. Like
yeah,
I launched and it was like I launched at the end of March, but I was still like trying to figure out life, just like almost everyone else. Like, how
right,
does life look in this new world
ugh,
that was just thrown at us? And so, and like, and it's a lot mentally to deal with too.
totally,
And so my launch was really slow going. I would tell people occasionally. I didn't really post too much on social media because I felt like, who am I to like all happily post and launch this business when the
sure,
world is going through what it's going through? Like
yeah,
I felt like almost as if like why, I mean, why would anyone buy my product when they have so many other things to deal with?
right, right,
um, and it took me a while. It took me maybe until June or so to like finally like break out of that mental toxicity I was like giving myself and actually put my all into this business and just like seeing what happened, because I cared so much about the business and the premise of it and the
right,
reason why I was doing it, that I told myself like this needs to be out there. This needs to be out in the world. I'm not going to worry about what other people think of me. I'm going to worry about this business
yeah,
and what I'm trying to get out of it. And so then I launched, and then June came along, and then my sales kind of increased when I started putting more effort in. And
right,
then, like the holidays, oh my God, the
yeah,
holidays were amazing. I had the
awesome,
best holiday season. This is my first holiday season, so I don't know what to
right,
compare it to, but it was above what I expected. It was just so
beautiful,
good. And so I think that it was a really slow start, but it was because of me, my mental blocks that didn't really allow the company to be great. And then when I lifted those blocks, then the company has kind of soared.
wow,
So, yeah.
wow, yeah, that's a big thing with a lot of business owners. We do that to ourselves. We give ourselves the mental block, and like either we're scared to succeed or we're scared to fail, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, it was afraid to fail.
Yeah,
I just felt like failure was imminent because the whole world was like kind of unraveling, that like I didn't want to put any time and effort into anything, but I'm
true.
so glad that I did.
I'm
So
so glad you did too. You have an amazing product. Like all your
thank you
products
so
are
much.
so beautiful, well branded, well wrapped, so consciously thought out. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your feedback. I really appreciate that. This
I
brand
do.
is like my little baby. So
I know, right? It is.
yeah.
I
I
want
go
to.
to sleep thinking about it. I wake up thinking about
I know. I
it.
know. I know. It's never gonna stop. Just so you know,
No,
it's gonna keep
I
going.
know.
You're in your first year. You're gonna. It's gonna go. I always say it's like a 24-hour job, because
Yeah.
sometimes if I have a lot of things to do the next day, I'll be doing it in my sleep,
Yeah.
and I'll
Yes.
wake up
Yeah.
and I did my work. I
Pre-plan.
just did my day. And
Yeah.
now I have to do it all over again because I didn't really do it. I just did it.
At least you thought about it, so it'll go a little faster, right?
Yeah, you know the process already.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's the way of the business owner and the entrepreneur.
Yep. That's the life. That's the life I chose. We chose.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So
yeah.
we're
No
always,
days off.
I know some days are way off, right? But not every day. And that's what keeps us going. Those days, those sales, honestly, the sales, when I see an order come through, I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it's pretty
just,
exciting.
yeah,
And that's like the best part about supporting a small business. You know that when you place that order, someone is excited to see your name and the products that you ordered, and they're going to be packing it with care and
yeah,
then sending it to you as fast as possible because they are really, really excited. You're
yeah,
not just, none of my customers are just another name. And you know what? When I see customers come in for repeat orders, I recognize their names.
yep,
So
100%.
I'm always super, super grateful for those, especially.
Yes, those
Hmm.
are, that's like, oh my gosh, they liked us.
Yeah, it's validation right there. Validation in an email.
I know, it's crazy. And that's really what is hard to let go of as a business owner, right? It's like, okay, even if times are tough, because guys, we know, people we know, listeners out there, we understand that sales have been low for a lot of people too, and that it's been really hard out there. So that's one thing that's hard to get out of your head, is like, what am I doing this for? You right? What am I fighting for if no one wants what I'm providing,
Yeah.
you know? And just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Just keep going. That's what I want to encourage people that have had a really hard time through COVID. Just keep going. The light is going to be out there. We need you guys to survive the small business fight. We need all of us together.
Absolutely.
So let's work together. Let's find resources together. R2R has a COVID-19 packet that we put together for resources. If anyone wants that, feel free to DM us on Recycle the Riches, or you can on Instagram, or you can just email us. And it's also on our transparency page under communications on our website. So you could check that out. Some resources to help you. But we need you, small businesses.
Yes.
We need you and we love you. And that's your
Yeah.
encouragement of the day.
Yeah.
Wow, Monique, thank you for joining us. This was incredible.
This was really great. Thank you so much for having me. I love talking to you.
Uh,
It's like always such a good time and so effortless. So thank you so much
yeah,
for having
we're
me.
talking. Of
Yes.
course. So wait, I do have one more question, because I want to make sure I ask this to all of my guests.
Yeah.
You hear us talk about the closed loop economy a lot and the closed
Mm,
loop system a lot.
mm.
What does this closed loop system look like to you?
I think for me, it's just not throwing anything away, not creating waste, like finding a new use for things that you have purchased. So,
Mm.
like for instance, you keep your shampoo bars in this little jar. That jar is probably like a jelly jar or something else
Yeah.
that you use, whatever it was, but just like finding, being like a conscious consumer and making sure that the things that you buy have another use. One thing that Butter and Lye does is it makes sure that all of our packaging, everything could go into a compost heap. Because I want to make sure that I'm not creating waste for my consumers. You know, I don't want to give them the burden of trying to figure out how to recycle something, how to properly dispose of something. And
Mm.
so it's as easy as taking the box, ripping it up into however many pieces, maybe shredding it,
Mm.
digging a hole in your garden, putting the box inside, covering it with dirt, maybe getting it wet, turning it up like once a month or
Yeah.
twice a month. That box is going to be gone in 3 months. It's not going to, you won't even notice that there was a box there. Now, I don't do this, but try that with a shampoo bottle. That
Mm.
shampoo bottle is going to stay there. And so I make sure that everything that I have can be used for some other purpose, specifically for composting, especially if you have a garden outside. But if you don't, it's super easy to recycle. And the good thing about paper recycling is that most of that paper is recovered and it goes
Yeah,
back into the system. It's not like plastic where you lose a lot of it. So
yeah,
yeah. And very little low ink on my packaging. It's just white ink. You'll
yep,
notice it doesn't
100%.
really have a lot of shelf appeal, but it's on purpose. It's because I want people to be able to use this in their vegetable gardens without worrying about the toxins that may be in ink.
Yeah. I love your packaging. I think it looks beautiful. If you guys
Thank
go
you.
on her website, butterandlie.com, right?
Yep.
If you go on there, you'll see the packaging is gorgeous. It's very simple, white ink, gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Simple,
a
simple.
cardboard little box that it comes in.
A
It's
little thin
beautiful.
piece of cardboard.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Super thin, doesn't take up much cardboard. I love it. I think you thought of everything. I don't know. I'm totally bragging on you right now, but you're worth it
Thank
because you
you.
deserve it.
It feels good because I do think about a lot of things. Every single business decision, the first question is this eco-friendly? And there have been so many products. I'm going to have some new products coming out this year.
Yay.
They're still kind of in the planning phases, so I don't want to talk about them yet. But there will be a few new products being released. But the first question is this eco-friendly? And there have been so many products that I wish I could carry. Like for instance, there's this beautiful body brush that I
Mm.
love, but I couldn't buy it because the bristles are made from animal. And so, it's just, it's not, and then like the whole animal factory farming, that's like a whole other conversation that will leave us on here for a
Oh
few
yeah.
hours.
Oh yeah. That's a whole
I
nother
just couldn't do
episode.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Plastic waste.
So, is it eco-friendly is the first question. And then after that, then I could like actually start thinking about it and seeing if it fits in with the company.
Yeah, that is the number one thing when we took you guys on and we were doing our life cycle analysis on the products with you and the questions. I didn't really have to ask anything. You were just like, and this and this and this. You told us literally the whole life cycle analysis, and I was just like,
Yeah.
and packaging, and we're looped back, and we're all set.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
really thought of everything. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth to get information from people. Sometimes they don't know and they have to find out. But
Mhm.
you yourself thought of everything, and I
Yeah.
applaud you for that.
Thank you. And it's all about communicating with your suppliers. I talk to my
Mhm.
suppliers all the time. They probably hate me. Like, oh, Monique is calling again. What does she want to change now? But I mean, most of them adore the fact that I'm like this because, the world is kind of shifting. And it's not shifting very quickly, but you do see it a little bit. I think that eco-friendly is becoming less of a fad and more of a way of life for a lot of people. And because of that, like everything is kind of shifting, and my suppliers are hearing it from other brands, not just me. And they'll say to me, I'm glad you're saying this because we're going to make these changes because we've heard it a few times already. So it's all about talking. If you're a business owner, it's all about talking to your suppliers and letting them know your needs. They want you to be a customer, so they're going to make those changes. And
Yep.
same thing, if you're a consumer, talk to a brand, tell them what you want,
Yep.
tell them what you expect. If they ship something with, non-dissolvable packing peanuts or with a bunch of extra plastic, write to them, let them know that that's not something that you like to see.
Yep.
And they're gonna change because they want your dollars,
Yeah.
so they're gonna change.
It's as simple as saying, "Hey, I love this product. I use it all the time. I'm obsessed with it." They can look up how much money you make for them if you use their product all the time. They'll look that up and know your customer value and then see, oh my goodness, I should probably listen to them because every 2 weeks they're buying my product.
Mhm.
You have
Absolutely.
power as the consumer. So it's as simply as saying, emailing them, I love your product, but I noticed that you don't have, like Monique said, dissolvable popcorn, which is basically just packaging that underwater it just goes, dissolves. What is it made out of, Monique?
I think it's
Corn?
cellulose, but don't quote me. I would have to look that up.
Yeah, it's like
I
corn
tend to use
cellulose,
paper.
something like
Oh,
that.
cornstarch? Is it
No,
corn?
no, cellulose, like the
Oh, corn
cellulose
cellulose.
of
Okay.
corn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the polymer,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it just breaks down underwater. You can literally do it underwater. You see them dissolve. It's so cool. So
It
you
is
just
really cool.
email them that suggestion, or just
Mhm.
ask, like have a question near that you send to your favorite brands.
Yeah.
You know? And that is on our transparency page. You can see what we ask all of the brands that we take on, and then you can just copy and paste those and see which ones they answer.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
will definitely bring communication, and they'll have to be like, oh my gosh, what is all of this?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. They're probably gonna escalate it up the chain, and it's gonna get to a decision maker that's gonna make a change.
Yeah. And
Especially if they hear it multiple times, then they're definitely gonna make a change.
yeah. And that whole ask questions. Yeah. Who made my clothes movement? Right? Hashtag who made
Mm-hmm.
my clothes. That's
Mm-hmm.
all
Mm-hmm.
from that, asking questions, knowing who made your clothes, who's your suppliers, knowing this information and being transparent.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that is why we have Talk About It Tuesdays, to bring this
Mm-hmm.
knowledge and education to the community
Yep.
about amazing brands like Butter and Lye.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you, Monique.
Trying to be amazing.
You
Step
are.
by step. Thank you.
Are. I know you want to be humble, but guys, she's amazing.
I really appreciate
Thank you for joining us on today's Talk About It Tuesday, our second episode. Okay.
that. Cool.
Crazy. I'm so happy to have you, and even just to have you a part of our community and on our marketplace. It's such an honor. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything that you do, bringing all these eco-friendly brands together, spreading awareness, everything. You're a star. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna have to stay humble too. I'm no, thank. Keep going. Keep going. Thank you so much, Monique. And you
Of
guys can check her out on Instagram, Butter
course.
and spelt out Lye,
Mhm.
LYE. And then you can also check out her website, or you can shop on our marketplace on our clean product collection.
Yep.
Um, Thank you, Monique. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too. Take care. Bye.